everybody. Thank you so much for joining me as I review Alex Garland's new film, Civil War. If you are a fan of Alex Garland, you know that there's a social political theme that happens in all his films. His first film, Ex Machina, really talked about the ethical dilemma of AI, and then he directed Annihilation, which is very much a existential view of mortality and the nature of existence. And then, of course, Men. If you haven't seen Men, it's a tough watch. Psychological effects on domestic violence. And if you haven't seen the movie, there's an ending that still haunts me today. And if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He dived into television with a show called Devs, which he explored quantum mechanics and parallel universes. So you know he has a very deeper thought process in his film. So when you're going into Civil War, if you know what to expect, Civil War is actually quite the opposite. It is very streamlined, where it's a group of people who are trying to get to Washington, D.C. to interview the president before the soldiers infiltrate. That's it. That's pretty much what it is. But what's happening in between is really pretty much on par with Alex Garland's films. He really dives into more of the dread that's happening. So what Alex Garland has done is created a incredible war film. He dives the audience right into it from the beginning. He doesn't explain. He doesn't give the questions of why this is all happening or how this is happening. It's irrelevant. It's just happening. And so we follow these war photographers through it all, and that's what he's done. He's created a great war photography movie right up there with The Killing Fields and Bang Bang Club and Salvador. The question is what he's trying to say as a society sensationalize, and he utilizes music to create the complacency of what is actually happening on screen. And it all works, and it's jarring, and it should make you feel uncomfortable, and it should also at the same time give the war photographers that feeling that, you know, that adrenaline rush that sometimes occurs, and it showed within some of the characters in the film. And then you have the amazing Kirsten Dunst, who's basically has the role of a lifetime in this one. She is absolutely incredible. Plays a very hardened war photographer who's been doing it way too long and have seen way too many horrible things, but still is at a point in her life where she's questioning the fact that, you know, as a photographer taking pictures of victims' last breath, you know, in horrible scenarios, is it worth it? Or is she a part of the problem itself? When you see these pictures, they're supposed to create anger and things, but yet at the same time, society continues to go into these extremist war scenarios at, you know, the senseless violence is still occurring, no matter how many times we take these pictures and how angry we get at how complacent things have become. And I think that's really the theme of this film. With these reviews, it's not necessarily about me telling you everything about the story or what my idea and viewpoint is. It's what you're walking into. If you think you're going into a Jerry Bruckheimer produced film or a Michael Bay action-packed, this is what this is, a no-brainer popcorn film, you are not. You're kind of going into a film that's more like The Hurt Locker or The Killing Fields or any other great war film that's out there, because that's exactly what it is. And it's terrifying and it's intense from beginning to end, and there's so much dread and you know, in some amazing moments in this film that I think it elevates it, and it works on so many different levels. You just have to expect going into it that you're not going to see like White House Down or something, a popcorn action film. I think the reason to go see Civil War is not only to see Kirsten Dunst's performance, but also to see like the amazing cinematography that Rob Hardy's created, and also for the sound. The sound mix in this film is incredible. I mean, starting from the credits coming up at the very beginning, there is a static sound hitting up every different type of speaker. So if you go to a theater with an amazing sound system, this is a movie that's going to be completely immersive and makes you feel like you are in the action itself. And of course, the soundtrack is pretty incredible too, especially to contradict the actions happening on screen. So all of that is why you need to go see Civil War. It's an important film. It is not supposed to trigger some ideology or wokeism or anything like that. That's not the case. The idea is to trigger the fact that war is senseless, and that it's basically an anti-war film, and we need to understand that this violence and that certain things that we do as a society is not worth to get to that point. That is just my viewpoint and my thoughts, and I would love to discuss your thoughts on Civil War, and I hope that you would subscribe so you can see the upcoming reviews that I have planned, and love to just talk with you and discuss film with you. That's my love, that's my passion, and I appreciate you joining me.